welcome to Grandma's YouTube. Now I thought I would continue on with the story that we've been doing, which is the Marge in Charge. Now I've got the collection which has got 9 stories in it. I think you girls have heard some of these before, but I hope you don't mind hearing them again, even though you know what's going to happen. And I wonder if Millamoo Magic Bruce Freeland is liking Marge in Charge. So we were up to the part where Marge had arrived to babysit the kids called Jemima and Jakey Pants, and they were just getting to know her and discovering that she might be a little more interesting as a babysitter than they thought. They were just doing the rules. Rule 3, decorate the dining room. Soon we are cutting out cardboard stars and making streamers, and Jake staples the stars onto the tablecloth. Then he gets carried away and staples his t-shirt to his shorts. And then he staples one of his socks to a tea towel. And as he is about to staple Archie's tail to his leg, Marge swoops in and stops him from doing it. "Can I borrow the stapler?" Marge asks quickly, and then hides it instantly. Jake sticky tapes Pete, his toy Stegosaurus, to the centre of the table as a decoration, and we tie a ribbon on the back of everyone's chair. I only just learned how to tie a bow, and I can do it quite quickly now. "A room fit for kings and queens," Marge says, and she high-fives us both. "And perfect for a duchess. It's all ready for dinner now." Can you see all the decorations? And there's the Stegosaurus in the middle, and that's the poor puppy dog that nearly got his tail stuck to his staple to his leg. And they've got all the decorations. Phew! My tummy is making funny grumbly sounds, and I can smell that our cake is baking in the kitchen. But then Marge checks the list again. "It's time to get cleaned up so we can look fabulous for our dinner party," Marge says, blowing the whistle hard. "Bath time!" Bath time before supper? This is very unusual, but Marge is in charge, so we follow her upstairs. In the bathroom, Jake refuses to run the bath or fetch his towel. I'm worried because I know how stubborn my little brother can be, but Marge is full of fun ideas. She fills the sink with water all the way to the top and empties in a whole bottle of lavender bubble bath. It's incredible. Bubbles are floating serenely onto the floor and covering our toes. Then she tips in a bottle of apple shampoo. Daddy's aftershave, Mummy's face cream, and she even sprays in some fancy perfume. Jakey holds his nose. "Pooh-wee," he says, giggling. Then she somehow finds our swimming goggles, which have been lost for ages, and we put them on. Marge has a whistle. "It's time to dunk," she cries, blowing the whistle hard. 1, 2, 3, dunk! Jakey and I plunge our heads in the sink and under the taps, then up again. Floating under our chins and around our ears are all the bubbles. Jakey makes a white Santa beard and I make a white wig of the foaming bubbles. See them in the bath there, or in the sink? Covered in bubbles. "Shall we wash the dog too?" Marge says, and I can hear her spraying more air freshener around the room. I can't even see her anymore through all the bubbles. No," I say. "Archie hates the water and will only go in the pond at the heath if he's chasing a ball." "But didn't the list say we need to wash Archie's fur?" "No," I say. "Mummy wrote wash Jake's hair, not Archie's fur." I'm feeling nervous again, but this time it's not about Jakey misbehaving. I'm worried that we might not get through the things on Mummy's list on time. Suddenly, Marge pops her head through the bubbles and grins at us before turning to Jake. "Do you want a shampoo Mohican?" Jake nods, although neither of us even know what a Mohican is. Marge lathers up Jake's hair with shampoo until it stands in one point on the top of his head, like Grandma's. He looks hilarious, like a white rooster. Then she lathers up mine like an ice cream. The bathroom is a bit of a mess, but Jake has clean hair and is happy. Mummy will be happy too. I'm a bit worried though. We've still got lots to do and we haven't been following Mummy's list in order. What's this shelf? Marge asks. I can vaguely see through the white fluffy clouds of foam that she has found Mummy's out of our reach shelf. She unscrews a large pot of something sticky and brown and she rubs it all over her face. This must be a mud mask to tighten the pores of the skin, Marge assumes, but I can read the label and it clearly says brown hair dye. Uh-oh, Marge has put hair dye all over her face and it's turning orange. She really does look like an Oompa Loompa now. Quick, Marge, wipe it off, I shout. That's not a face mask. I don't want Marge's face to be the same colour as my mummy's hair. Whoopee! Marge plunges her face into the water in the sink and is scrubbing her cheeks. Now bubbles and water are all over the floor. Archie trots into the bathroom and starts barking at Marge. I am Marge the mermaid, gurgles Marge as she pops back up. I told you she wasn't a real grown-up. Jake whispers to me, looking around at the messy bathroom. Jake doesn't think that Marge is a grown-up because she's doing so many fun and crazy things. Come on, Marge, I say, it's time to get back to our list. I have to say, it isn't easy finding Marge in all those bubbles. They are everywhere, rising all the way up to the ceiling. Gotcha, I say, grabbing her foot. But then I lift it up and it's a bottle of shampoo. I have her elbow, Jakey shouts, and then holds up a bag of bath salts. We both crack up laughing. Marge, is that you? I say, pulling out a tub of body gel. Finally, I feel something moving and I grab at her. She feels very hairy and furry, and as I pull her out, I realise I have Archie in my arms. How did Archie get into the sink? Boo! Shouts Marge through a curtain of foam, grinning from ear to ear. Once we are dry, Marge has a new idea. What shall we wear to dinner, she asks us, as if we are in charge, not her. Anything but shorts, shouts Jake. His hair is now clean and dry. Jake hates shorts, even in summer. We can't wear ordinary clothes, says our babysitter. Going to a dinner party is a regal affair, and we have to look our best. I have an idea. I'll be right back, I say, and I run off to find our dressing up box. When I get back, I find Marge and Jakey in Mummy and Daddy's room. Look at Marge in Mummy and Daddy's room, getting into all sorts of mischief. Look at her. She's funny, this Marge. They are standing right inside Mummy's closet, pulling out all her special evening gowns. Oh no, Mummy will not be happy if we make a big mess, and I don't want to get in trouble. But it does look like fun. You can borrow my fairy wings, I offer Marge, and my ladybird Halloween costume will fit Jakey. Marge shakes her head and instead she puts on a pirate patch and a gladiator sword. At a dinner party, it's important that you stand out, said Marge, buttoning Jake into a yellow sequin jacket. I was at a dinner party in Paris when I caught the eye of the Earl of Toulouse, and he taught me to tango. What's tango? Jake is squinting at Marge. I'll show you, says Marge, and she picks up my little brother into a hug and dances him round the room, singing loudly. The Earl of Toulouse taught me to dance, but we had a rose between our teeth and a red monkey jacket on. Marge looks giddy with the memory. There's Marge dancing with Jakey. She's got her pirate patch on. Jake and I catch each other's eyes as Marge warbles on and starts laughing so much my chest hurts. Then I remember Mummy has a pink feather boa. It's really soft and silky and she lets me wear it if I am very careful. It would look perfect with Marge's hair, so I find the box and I offer it to her. You should wear it, says Marge kindly. I finally chose a sparkling evening gown and tall heels to go with the feather boa. I also wear Mummy's gold bracelets looped over my ears. Marge says that I look like a baroness. Jake matches Daddy's Wellington boots with his sequin jacket and a French beret. There's Jake there, getting the boots on. Marge grabs Daddy's black dinner jacket and folds up the sleeves to fit her short arms, and she adds the suit trousers, which are so long they drag on the ground. She even finds his black bow tie and top hat. Then she grabs a black magic marker from her handbag and draws a twirly-whirly moustache on her face. Marge looks like a boy. There's Jemima all dressed up in her mummy's best clothes. And there's Marge. Moustaches make gentlemen look mysterious, she says, bowing and talking in a deep voice. Marge and I admire ourselves in Mummy's large mirror and pretend we are on our way to a swish restaurant until we are distracted by the noise of Jakey jumping dangerously fast off Mummy's bed. Oh, that looks fun, says Marge. And she joins in, jumping on my Mummy's bed. Soon we are all jumping off the bed and I finally understand why Jakey does it all the time. My legs are so tired they are wobbly and my tummy is really rumbling when Marge holds out the list and sings. It's time for the dinner party to commence. Who are the special guests, Jakey wants to know. As we walk downstairs, I'm struck by an utterly brilliant idea. I sneak back to my bedroom and I return with a shoebox that has holes poked in it. Ta-da! I cry. I lift the lid. Marge, meet Bill and Bob. They are our pet snails. Marge looks very pleased and Jake is jumping up and down with excitement. There they are, jumping up and down on their mummy's bed. And I think there is the snails. Mummy says they have to stay in the box, but this is a special occasion and we need 6 guests. Lifting them out gently, they leave their shimmery trail behind them like gooey fairy dust, Jakey says. Now we have our guests, we can start, Marge says with a cheer. Marge carries Archie to Jakey's old high chair and he sits there looking quite confused. He is not normally even allowed to be in the dining room and now he is sitting at the table with 2 chopsticks in front of him. Jake takes everyone's orders very politely, gives his notepad to Marge, then sits quietly in his chair. I have never seen him so well behaved or with such clean hair. If only Mummy could see him now. There are a lot of banging and crashing sounds in the kitchen before Marge brings out one large bowl covered by a silver lid. I'm really hungry now, so I'm quite excited. Marge lifts the lid dramatically and underneath there is a big bowl of brown goo and 6 spoons. Chef Marge has your starter. I'm not eating that, says Jakey. He's looking a little bit grumpy. I think he might be hungry too. There's the dog, Archie, with his chopsticks. It's soup a la chocolatey, Marge announces in a perfect French accent. It's not the hair dye again, is it? I ask. Our babysitter digs her spoon daintily into the soup before taking a big from her bowl. It's chocolate soup, she says proudly. I melted 3 whole bars and 5 mini ones that I found in my handbag. Chocolate soup? Mummy never lets us eat chocolate unless it's a special treat, I explain. Jake and I exchange a grin. Marge is in charge, says Jake cheerfully as he spoons some chocolate soup into his mouth. I have never seen Jake eat anything with a spoon before. He normally just uses his fingers. My tummy is rumbling and the melted chocolate smells delicious, so I pick up a spoon and I have a taste. Scrummy yummy in my tummy, I say. That's what Grandpa Bert always says when he tastes anything delicious. It's so tasty that before we know it, Marge, Jakey and I are hugging the bowl between us and licking the inside and our fingers. And chocolate is everywhere. And Marge tells us that unfortunately there isn't enough left for the other guests at the dinner party. Whoops! I forgot about our other guests. Bill and Bob have sloped away, but Archie looks very disappointed. Marge goes back to the kitchen to get the next bit of the meal. It feels like she is gone for a really long time, and we are really hungry now. Finally, Marge returns with the pasta. And now for a main course, she announces. It's dripping with white cheese sauce, which we both love. Marge shows Jake and I which fork to use and how to look elegant while eating pasta. We twizzle and twirl our forks and listen to Marge. She tells us a story about when she was young and the Queen of England taught her to use cutlery for the very first time. Archie does not look elegant as he wolfs down his portion of pasta. There is cheese sauce all over his face. He licks it off. Slurp, slurp. And now for dessert, says Marge, after we have finished. She disappears into the kitchen, and although I'm quite full now, I can't wait to eat some more delicious food. But Marge has a surprise in store. She returns with 2 small bowls of broccoli. Jake shakes his head suspiciously. That is not dessert, that is broccoli. And I refuse to eat it. You are right, it is broccoli, said Marge, smiling. And we can't eat broccoli at the dinner table, she adds. What is she thinking? Eating our dinner was the first rule on Mummy's list. We can't eat broccoli anywhere, says Jake crossly. What about on a bus? Marge asks innocently. Would you eat broccoli on a bus? Jake's eyes widen as Marge drags over the cardboard box that he uses as his superhero hideout. She pulls 4 tiny chairs out from the playroom and puts them in 2 rows in the box, just like the inside of a bus. Then she crawls inside the box and squeezes into the driver's seat. All aboard the bus, she calls. Jakey mimes giving Marge his ticket, then races inside the box and takes a seat happily. I bring over our bowls and I sit down next to my brother. I nibble on broccoli and pretend to wave out the bus window. Would you believe it? Jakey eats all his broccoli. Mummy will be thrilled. Not only has Jake eaten his broccoli, but he's used a fork and a spoon, and his hair is clean. Can you see the bus that she made? There's Marge there, and there's Jakey eating his broccoli, and there's Jemima. Marge looks happy too as she checks everything off the list and sighs. After a royal banquet or dinner party, the guests retire into the living room to chat, Marge explains. She curls up in Daddy's chair. Jakey and I snuggle up on the sofa. I don't even mind when Jakey leans his head on me. Don't you miss the palace, I ask? I saw the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace once and I would love to have gone inside, says Jemima. Never, retorts Marge. I left to travel the world, seeking wild adventure in faraway places. Have you ever babysat before? I ask. No, I'm usually very, incredibly, always, typically busy, says Marge, as she yawns. What do you do for a job? Jakey asks. Well, I try to take my puppies roller skating every day. My ferret has an enormous hat collection and insists on trying them all on each morning, and my ponies like me to tell them stories while braiding their tails. And those are only half of my jobs, says Marge sleepily. It's getting dark outside and I realise that it's probably past our bedtime and Mummy and Daddy will soon be home. I think about the mess in the kitchen and Mummy's wardrobe and the bathroom full of bubbles. Marge notices my expression, but she looks tired. The cleaner will be here shortly, I'm sure. Marge, I don't know how to break it to you, but we don't have a cleaner. What about a maid? Says Marge, yawning. I shake my head. No. A butler? Marge's eyelids are drooping. Again, I shake my head. Not even a chambermaid, she says. No, I say. I don't even know what a chambermaid is. but Marge has fallen asleep. Her skinny legs are poking out from underneath her belly as it rises and falls with each snore. I think that's Marge sound asleep. Little mice from her pocket. I check the clock and it's 5 to 8. Oh, we're going to be in big trouble. My stomach feels quivery. Jake, we only have 5 minutes till Mummy and Daddy come back, I whisper, so as not to wake up our babysitter. Jake jumps up in shock. We have to clean everything up or Mummy and Daddy won't let Marge come over and look after us again. My little brother is looking at me with big worried eyes. Let's tidy now, he whispers back urgently. I can't believe it because Jakey hates tidying up. He must really like our new babysitter. We rush from room to room like little whirlwinds. The whole house is a disaster zone. There are towels and bubbles on the bathroom floor. Mummy's clothes are thrown around the living room and the kitchen sink is piled up with chocolatey bowls. Marge is still fast asleep in Daddy's armchair. Her messy rainbow hair is spread out and she still has a black marker moustache and chocolate around her mouth. Gently, I wake her up. Marge, it's time to clean your face and brush your hair before Mummy and Daddy get back. We'll tidy the house. She smiles sleepily at me and shuffles off towards the downstairs toilet. Then I run around picking up Mummy's clothes while Jake grabs the mop and starts on the bathroom floor. I rinse the dishes and leave them in the sink full of hot bubbly water. Jake puts Mummy's makeup away and I manage to make the dining room look normal again by tossing all our decorations into the laundry basket. Marge, I call, wondering if she's finished getting ready, but she doesn't reply and I can't see her anywhere downstairs. Our babysitter has disappeared. There's no time to find her. I can hear Mummy and Daddy at the front door. Quickly, we bolt upstairs to our bedroom. Archie is curled up, sleeping on the rug in our room. Why ever is he not sleeping in his own doggy bed? I scramble onto my top bunk and Jakey flings himself onto the bottom bunk just as Mummy creaks open our bedroom door. I give a snorting sound, which I hope Mummy will think is a snore. Mummy and Daddy kiss our faces softly as we pretend to be sleeping. They're fast asleep, she whispers to Daddy. I hear them move towards the door. Is that Bob on the table, she asks. I open an eye. Oh no. Oh, and there's Bill, says Dad. They must have got loose. But how did they get upstairs? Mum picks up Bob and Bill the snails and puts them into their shoebox before tiptoeing out of our bedroom. The door closes quietly. I wait a minute and then, leaving Jakey snuggled in bed, I sneak out onto the landing and I peek through the bars of the staircase and down into the living room. To my surprise, Marge is standing in the hallway, wide awake, with a clean face and looking sensible, with all her magical hair hidden away. I peer closer and I see Archie's green blanket stuck to Marge's back like a cape. That's why we couldn't find her. Marge must have crept off to sleep in Archie's doggy bed. I snort back a giggle. I guess being small can be useful when it comes to finding cozy places to nap. How were they? Daddy asks Marge. There's Mummy and Daddy and Marge looking all sensible, except for the little bit of doggy blanket she's got there. The kids all ate their dinner, even the broccoli, and Jake's hair is clean, Marge says proudly. Thank you, Mummy says happily. It was easier washing my albino water buffalo's tail than Jake's hair though, Marge says seriously, but Mummy and Daddy laugh, thinking she is making a joke. Jake and I both know that she's not. When I am back in our room, I wriggle under my covers and I sigh in wonder. Are you awake, Jakey? I ask. Almost, he says sleepily. Do you think that Marge is a real duchess? I ask. Jake doesn't answer for a long time and then I hear a little giggle. Yes. Why are you laughing, I ask. We have a royal babysitter, he says. But we actually have to babysit her. Jake's right, and it makes me smile. I hope that she comes again, I reply, snuggling into my pillow. Jake and I are silent, thinking about it for a moment. Do you think Mummy would buy me some rainbow hair dye? Jakey, what do you think? I don't think so, Jemima says. But there is only the soft sound of his breathing. Night, night, Jakey, I whisper, and I turn out my light and I drift off to sleep. And that is the end of the story. And the next one is called Marge at the birthday party. Marge at the birthday party. I can't wait to read you that one next time. I hope you liked the story. And if you liked Grandma's YouTube, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye.